Tomorrow morning, you're going to open the message you still haven't sent. You know the one. Maybe it's 6 careful paragraphs to your boss, what you delivered, what was promised, why you deserve a straight answer. Maybe it's a text to a parent or a partner. Different app, same tiny courtroom. You submit the evidence, then wait for the judge to suddenly decide to be fair, right? And look, of course you want the promotion, the apology, the decision. But there's a second request hiding inside that draft, one you'd never say out loud. Please, just tell me when I'm allowed to start living differently. Now picture a stronger version of you. Not cold, not pretending the answer doesn't matter. Just someone who can send one clean request and start moving before the reply even lands. That's the relief buried inside, nobody is coming to save you. It does not mean no people. It doesn't mean firing your friends, ghosting your union, canceling the lawyer, and refusing the doctor so you can go be a self-reliant boulder on a hill somewhere. Please, come down off the hill. There's no cell service up there. Your only neighbor is a goat, and the goat is also emotionally unavailable. It means you stop auditioning for a release date from the one person who quietly benefits when the decision stays pending. Here's the thing, hope isn't the enemy. It can carry you through an awful year. The problem starts when another person's future answer becomes step 1 of every plan. You don't apply until the review. You don't decide how much contact you can handle until the apology lands. You don't build a backup, because this week, surely, they'll finally notice you. And while you wait, who gets 1 more month of your patience, your extra hours, your emotional life on hold? Who eats the cost when the answer comes back, not yet, again? The question isn't whether you should stop asking. Ask, clearly. Use every right and every ally you've got. The real question is whether your whole morning has to stay locked until somebody else decides to unlock it. So here's the hidden transaction nobody names. A pending answer can occupy your attention for months before it changes a single thing about your life. You rehearse it in the shower. You rewrite the email at lunch. You read, thanks, let's circle back, like it came down from the oracle of corporate benefits. That attention is usable work. It could have been a dated record, one conversation outside the building, one application, one honest hour with your bank balance. The gatekeeper doesn't need to take those options away. They just need theirs to stay first in line. Sneaky, right? You feel it in the rituals of a life on hold, refreshing the inbox before your feet hit the floor, your body snapping to attention at a dinner table buzz. That's what you're taking back first. Not certainty, just the slice of your attention standing in their lobby. And this is the whole difference between help and rescue. One keeps you the main character, one benches you. Help is a lifeguard. A lifeguard will swim out to you, but the whole time they're yelling at you to kick, keep your chin up, grab the buoy yourself. They join a rescue you're already doing. A genie is the opposite. A genie takes the whole problem, vanishes in a puff of smoke, and hands it back solved while you stand there holding nothing. And here's the part the stories skip. With a genie, you have to wait for the lamp. You just rub, and hope, and wait, and the lamp decides whether today's the day. So which one are you actually waiting for? A lifeguard is strength. Waiting on a genie is handing the ignition key to your own life, to a manager, a relative, an institution, then sitting in the passenger seat, wondering why you're not moving. History can't prove a universal law about your inbox, but it can show something narrower and more useful. What people did after the clean answer never came, where one person's move mattered, and where the whole heroic save-yourself fantasy fell flat. Around 200 BCE, Liu Bang had been emperor of the brand-new Han dynasty for all of 2 years, when he marched north against the Xiongnu Confederation. Near Pingcheng, the mess we remember as Beideng, he got surrounded. Later accounts dress the escape up in cinematic lighting. The record we have is Han flattering, so take the movie version with salt. What we can say is smaller. The founder of an empire ran into a power his title could not boss around. Afterward, early Han policy used heqin, marriage alliances, negotiation, straight-up payments, to manage a frontier it couldn't yet win. It didn't buy lasting peace. Later rulers picked huge wars instead. What it bought was room, under lousy conditions. No source says Liu Bang had our little psychological epiphany mid-siege. and I'm not about to install a modern feeling in a dead emperor's head. Beidang earns 1 point. When a clean win wasn't on the menu, movement didn't have to wait for dignity to show up first. You can use that tomorrow. If your manager won't fix the story about your work, the first move might be a dated summary and one application elsewhere. If a family call never produces the repair you keep hoping for, the move might be ending it before the usual 3-hour cross-examination. Does that feel insultingly small? Good. Small fits through an exit the gatekeeper doesn't control. You're not calling this fair. You're taking back 1 square foot of ground, a side door your life can slip through without asking. And that pending answer stops being the only event on your calendar. And right about here, a tempting voice pipes up. Fine, I'll need no one. I'll go emotionally waterproof, hike into the woods, bench press my own trauma, and emerge fully healed, carrying my own dental insurance in a little handmade pouch. Yeah, no. Some doors are heavy on purpose, built to need more than 1 pair of hands. If a company can delete 1 worker without blinking, if a landlord can outweight 1 tenant, if an institution can bury 1 complaint, then all your private courage did was make you privately disposable. The woods don't have dental. You'll be back. In the 1920s, black porters on Pullman sleeping cars held jobs that carried real status in black communities, while Pullman controlled the wages, the hours, and basically the rules of reality. A lot of the white railroad brotherhoods flat out excluded black workers, so a porter who complained on his own wasn't proving how independent he was. He was just making himself very easy to remove. Mind sen. So what do you do when going it alone just makes you disposable? In 1925, the porters organized the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters and chose A. Philip Randolph to lead it. Here's the sharp detail. Randolph did not work for Pullman. Why does that matter? Because Pullman could pressure porters and fire employees all day long, but it couldn't fire the one man who worked a job it never handed him. So if your complaint vanishes the second you personally vanish, here's the update. Stop asking bravery to carry a weight that structure should carry. Find the person, the record, the rule, or the organization that stays in the room when you're not in it. Pullman fought dirty. Obviously. Intimidation, informants, the very real fear of losing a job families couldn't casually replace. And still, the porters kept turning isolated, private risk into shared evidence and shared nerve. Outside allies mattered. Federal law mattered. In 1935, the Brotherhood became their certified bargaining representative. In 1937, Pullman signed a contract with better pay, job security, and grievance protection. 12 years. That's not rescue arriving on schedule with a bow on it. That's people building a place to stand, a place from which power could finally be forced to answer. The porters didn't win by needing nobody. They needed each other, an outside organizer, the law, allies, a negotiating table. The strength was never isolation, it was help without passivity. So make the private thing less private. Compare notes with one coworker you trust. Put a date and a number on the thing everyone's been vaguely calling a weird vibe. You're not declaring war before lunch. Relax. You're just making it harder for one office to be the only narrator of what's real. Refusing the rope doesn't make the whole more dignified. It just makes it more private. We do need a hard limit. A permissionless move doesn't mean you finish every fight without money, law, or care. The porters could start organizing without Pullman's blessing. They couldn't produce a binding contract with positive thinking and a vision board. The point isn't to need nothing, it's to build a position where legitimate help has somewhere to land. Because picture the actual unglamorous version. It's a Tuesday. You're not giving a brave speech at the all hands with a single tear on your cheek. You're eating a deeply depressing desk salad, the kind that's mostly regret and one crouton, when a coworker leans over and says, quietly, "Hey, they told me the exact same thing." 10 minutes and 2 sad salads later, 2 private suspicions have become one pattern with dates on it. By Friday, someone outside the reporting chain has explained the policy nobody would explain. Nobody rescued anybody, but the company isn't the only voice in the room anymore, and you've stopped using your own confusion as proof nothing can be done. That's how attention comes back, not as a thunderclap, but as more open tabs. There's a harder kind of waiting though. Sometimes you're not waiting on a decision at all. You're waiting for restoration. You want the same world that trashed your name to hand it back clean. So what do you do when that answer might never come? In 99 BCE, the general Li Ling was defeated and surrendered to the Xiongnu. The historian Sima Qian spoke up in his defense. Emperor Wu treated that defense as a crime, and Sima Qian was sentenced to castration, a punishment meant to disgrace him as much as injure him. The letter to Ren An, traditionally attributed to him, says he was too poor to buy his way out and couldn't leave his history, begun by his father, unfinished. He chose the remaining work over the honorable exit his world recognized. Its dating is debated, so we can't claim every motive, only that the text puts unfinished work at the center of why he endured. Here's the turn. When restoration from the world that hurt you simply isn't available, one project can still have a next step that world doesn't get to veto. If you've been waiting for the person who hurt you to hand back the version of you that existed before, notice the release in that sentence. You can still want justice. You just don't have to make their restoration the front door to the rest of your life. And let's kill one cruel little myth on the way through. Pain did not hand Sima Qian his talent. Humiliation did not mail him a masterpiece as a consolation prize. The project came before the punishment. It leaned on his father's work, on records, on institutions, on other people. Sometimes suffering is just suffering, and if part of you is quietly hoping your worst year is secretly forging you into a masterpiece, I've got bad news, and I'm including myself here. Usually it isn't. Usually it's just your worst year, but one defensible reading remains. He couldn't force Emperor Wu to undo the injury. He could write the next section, the next life, the next verdict, in a history that would outlast the court's verdict on him. That's a different kind of strength. Work without restoration. You don't have to call the wound a gift. You just need one piece of your life the wound doesn't get to pause. Maybe you're still chasing accurate pay, due process, medical care, or an apology you're genuinely owed. Keep the claim. Nobody is coming can never be an alibi for institutions that owe people help. But while that appeal grinds on, what can still get a next line, a next deposit, a next conversation, a next page? If your whole identity has been the employee they'll eventually notice, write down the contribution and start building the alternative. If it's been the kid whose parents will finally get it, decide what safe contact looks like before they get it. The old world may still control the answer, not whether the rest of the screen loads, and there's real permission in that. You're allowed to stop spending your best hours proving you deserved better, and spend them making a next page instead. That's not revenge. It's refusing to let one unresolved judgment run everything else you're building. So here's the no rescue map. And please don't run it like a checklist on a laminated card. Where do you actually run it? In your car? In a parking lot? Engine off? 10 minutes before a conversation you've been dreading, gripping the wheel like it owes you money. First, name the rescue you're waiting for. Out loud, in the car, where nobody can hear how it sounds. I'm waiting for my boss to notice me without me having to ask. Yeah, it sounds a little pathetic out loud. That's the point. The rescue loses its magic the second it has a job description. Then name who's benefiting while you sit here waiting. And in this sentence, the you is you. Maybe a company gets another month of free labor. Maybe a relative keeps all the access and does zero repair. Or, and this one stings, maybe nobody's exploiting you at all, and the waiting just protects you from hearing a clean no. Oof. Okay, moving on. Then name the smallest move that needs nobody's permission. Not reinvent my entire life by Sunday. You're in a parking lot. Calm down. Send the factual request. Save the record. Show up to one meeting. Submit one application. Move enough money to start an actual buffer. Small isn't fake progress here. Small is the only size that fits through a locked gate. Then build around that move until the rescue becomes optional. One application turns into a weekly habit. One saved $20 turns into a little more room to say no to bad terms. And if the promotion or the apology or the lucky break finally shows up, great. It joins a life that's already moving. It doesn't get to be the key that starts the engine, because you already started the engine. You're in the car, and that's the exact meaning of the title. Once you realize nobody is coming to save you, life doesn't magically get easy. The bills still due, the grief's still there, power is still lopsided. Sometimes your smartest next move is asking for serious, heavy-duty help. What gets easier, the only thing, is choosing the next move. Because it no longer has to sit in somebody else's inbox waiting for a reply. You might feel a flash of guilt here. especially if waiting has been how you proved your loyalty for years. Taking a second action can feel like a betrayal before anyone's officially said no. But is it, really? Loyalty that needs you to keep every other door nailed shut isn't trust. It's an options contract you never signed. You can honor the relationship, pursue a fair process, and still keep both hands on your own calendar. The goal was never to make the answer meaningless. It's to meet it from a position that already holds more than one future. Neither a yes nor a no gets to erase the work you started while it was still on its way. So tomorrow morning, open the message. Cut the paragraph where you audition for basic fairness like it's a role they might not cast you in. Keep one clean, neutral line. Can you confirm the decision by Friday? Then send it. That's it. Send it. And then, before the reply comes back, open the other tab. Submit the application you bookmarked. Text the coworker who once said, "I thought it was just me." Move $20 into the buffer. Pick the one move that fits your real life, and make it while the answer is still out there, traveling toward you. You're not becoming a person who needs nobody. That person doesn't exist, and if he did, he'd be cold, exhausted, and honestly kind of insufferable at parties. You're becoming someone who welcomes real help, but stops leaving the key to his own life in a gatekeeper's coat pocket. The answer might still change your week. It just doesn't get to own your morning.